All right, good day, everybody. Oh boy, here we go. So it is Wednesday, September the 21st, 2022. I have a special guest joining me this morning, and we're going to talk about what's breaking right now out of Russia. Some of it is behind time because of the time difference between Russia and America. But let me bring in the one, the only, Mr. Jeff B. How are you doing this morning, sir?
Good in yourself.
Well, I thought I was doing good until I received a phone call from a crazy ex Navy squid who says, "Dude, did you just hear what Putin put out?" And I said, "No, what did he put out?" And you said his speech. He basically said, "Hey, to the Western world, I'm no longer messing around. Like if you want to play games, you're playing with the wrong guy."
Yeah, so I wanted to stay up to listen to it live, and then the Kremlin, the Putin's press secretary Dmitry Peskov, come out and said it's going to be a live recording, and we're not going to release it till 8 a.m. their time, so which would be about at 12, 1 o'clock, depending on what region of Russia you're in. Um, And so I don't know if that's to give this dude time to bug out uh, or what. But yeah, he pretty much how let me see how he worded it. So it says our country is conducting virtually the entire military machine of the collective West. Uh, the front lines exceed 1,000 kilometers. Therefore, the decision to mobilize made primary order to protect Russia, ensure its territorial integrity and sovereignty, and to protect the lives and the health of Russians. So what they did is he's ordering the call up of 300,000 conscripts in specialty fields. So it'd be like signals, intelligence, stuff like that. Uh, and the one link that I sent you, which they've since yanked down.
Yeah, they took it
Uh,
down immediately.
yeah, I mean it was only up for a few minutes. It showed the video of these call ups going on, and he said he'll go nuclear. So the Secretary General of NATO said they're going to pour more uh, weaponry into the Ukraine.
Well, here's something that I don't know of people are aware of, Jeff B. So obviously, Russia has about 100,000 troops in the Ukraine right now, roughly, give or take.
Right.
I heard through another source that Russia has right around 800,000 in their military, and so they're not even using a quarter of their military in the Ukraine right now. And that's something that I don't know if people really are aware of that. You know, you and I have talked off screen multiple times. The lamestream media makes Russia sound like a little teddy bear, like they don't have a military, they're behind on everything, and they're not strong. But Russia is a very strong world power out there with 800,000. You know, they do have some of the fastest technology for ballistic missiles in the world, and I've reported on that before. That's no joke. Like they have missiles that they could fire here to America, and we don't even have some of the technology that I'm aware of, and maybe we do and we don't talk about it, which is a good thing, to respond to some of that stuff. Um, they also made statement that these other outlying countries, Jeff, that we talk about all the time, like Croatia and some of those other
Yeah.
ones,
Yeah.
they
You
are
got
part
like
of Russia. They are part of Russia. They consider it part of Russia, and they will protect their sovereignty to the death. And they're not. I don't think Putin is messing around.
well, you had the uh, president of Belarus come out and say, "Yeah, we're with Russia." The concept like of the old satellites, the old Oblursk, they kind of view it as like if somebody would attack Canada, even though we're not Canadian, we kind of view ourselves as one people. Well, that's the way they do in the former Soviet satellites, and I don't know. They're because if you listen to you know some channels or even news media outlets, uh, they say that Russia's getting dog walked. You know, could be. I don't know. I'm not there. Yeah, to me, they make a big claim that what's going on. I mean, because as we know, anything can be manufactured. Uh, yeah, it doesn't look like he's screwing around. And you know what makes him powerful, Mike, is they have nuclear weapons.
Yeah.
You don't need too many men to fight when you have a tactical nuke.
Well, here it says it right here in Breitbart this morning. It says uh, Putin accuses West of nuclear blackmail, announces the conscription to boost Russian military. And if you read in this article, folks, and you can catch it in Breitbart this morning if you want to read more. Russian leader Vladimir Putin, they don't even call him president, they call him the Russian leader, announced the beginning of uh, a partial military conscription to in a speech on Monday in which accused the West of nuclear blackmail and trying to destroy Russia. This guy seems like he's pretty pissed off, Jeff.
Well, yeah. I mean, certain countries, even ours. I mean, I don't even know why we're meddling in the Ukraine, and unless a lot of these politicians, our politicians, have stuff inside the Ukraine they don't want out. Uh, I mean, if this doesn't piss people off, what really should piss people off is supposedly they're about ready to have a concert, whether I heard it's going to be a private concert for the White House by Elton John Friday on the White House lawns.
Celebrating, Jeff. They're celebrating.
Celebrate, yeah.
They're celebrating all their wins, you know. Um, if those of you who haven't seen my video yet that I put out on TikTok, where we discuss the falling gas prices, he claims that gas prices have come down 27% consistently for the last 13 weeks, and I laughed so hard I fell out of my chair. But they're celebrating wins that don't exist, Jeff.
Well, no, when you increase the price of something 300% and then you drop it 27%, you're still getting gouged.
Exactly.
And this is by their own design. They did this.
They
They can't
created
blame this. They cannot blame this on anybody else. And I'm still out there trying to find somebody who admit they voted for this because everybody's denying it now.
Don't blame me. I voted for Trump.
Right. No, that's a response you get from everybody now. I didn't vote for
So
this.
how serious do you think our viewers should take the threat from Vladimir Putin?
Well, I think he's going to do something. I mean, here's the thing. So Vladimir Putin come out and gave this speech, and then you had Dmitry Medvedev, you had Dmitry Peskov, which is his press secretary, his chief diplomat, come out and said, "Don't poke the bear. Don't do it." Now, granted, some of that could be saber rattling, but we're interfering. NATO's interfering. I mean, it'd be like, think of it like this. You have the Mexico border and the Chinese start building up. You don't think we'd react? Well, it's the same thing inside the Ukraine. You got our administration and multiple countries, NATO, sending in all these armaments right on their border. Why wouldn't he react? I don't know.
Well,
It's
you're
yeah,
100% right, Jeff. You're 100% right. He is reacting, and rightfully so. Um, what about the clown in charge here, the resident of the current White House, which we've never really seen him sit behind the resolute desk? And we talk about this all the time. He constantly is doing press conferences in a studio. In this moment in time, right now, Jeff B., I'm going to ask you a straight up question.
right.
This moment in time where Putin comes out to the world and points his finger, and I believe he's pointing his finger at us too. We're
Oh,
part of NATO.
absolutely.
We're a driving force. We're sending, like you said, billions and billions of dollars to the Ukraine to armor them up, supposedly, right? Um, wouldn't you think in a time like this, when Putin comes out yesterday and makes a speech like this, that the president of the United States would sit behind the resolute desk, look in the camera, talk to the American people, and talk to the world? And we haven't seen that yet.
Can you imagine if they'd have done this under Ronald Reagan?
Ronald Reagan would have pulled the lever by now.
Yeah.
He
I
wouldn't have
mean,
messed around. Donald Trump would not have messed around either. And I don't think Putin would be
I don't
doing
think
this.
we'd be in this position.
No, we wouldn't be in this position. We wouldn't be going through any of this nonsense right now if Donald Trump was still sitting behind the resolute desk. I'm not saying that Donald Trump is not still president. I'm just saying he's obviously not behind the resolute desk at the moment. And if he was, he would definitely be posturing and saying, "Hey, listen, enough of this nonsense."
Yeah. I mean, it seems like every day it's like, what, flip a coin. Let's see what's going to get worse, because
Uh,
it sure in the hell seems like we're going to be in for a long fall and long winter.
well,
Especially
well, what about the clown in charge making those statements months ago, Jeff B, about demonizing Russia and putting out a lot of things since he was inaugurated. A lot of things that he's put out, Jeff, the White House has had to walk back, including things that he said about China.
yeah, like two or three times. Well, this morning, uh, they ordered. I don't know if it was the Fifth Fleet or Seventh Fleet to go through the Taiwan Straits because of the saber rattling inside of China. So they just took some of our ships and went right through them. I mean, look, if this is the route we're going, we're screwed. I mean, really, but none of it makes any sense. I mean, and I didn't personally hear it because I didn't listen to Trump. He was like 30 minutes from where I lived last weekend, and I heard somebody report that he said that if the FBI does something or shows up, don't comply with them.
Yeah, he did say that. He did say that.
All right. So wait. How, how do you say that? So, all right. You know as well as I do, there are some hardcore Donald Trump. I mean, these people call him King Trump, Daddy Trump, I mean, all kinds of weird shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm a country first guy. I give two shit about the person. But this dude comes out and says, don't comply with the FBI. What are we missing?
Ah, well, we're looking at everything, and sometimes I feel like there's so much that some of the stuff kind of gets lost, in the cracks. And just to let you guys know, I see some new names in chat. Jeff B does speak Russian. Actually, Jeff B speaks, what is it, 7 different
Yeah.
languages. So when Jeff B brought this to me, he was actually watching this news feed from a Russian news outlet, and so Jeff B does speak Russian. And so he can definitely translate what they're saying and figure out what it is. So I got another comment here, which is very interesting. So thanks for the comment. But the comment is we have people in charge that cannot read treaties, and the way this is going, we lose UK and Alaska. Now, Russia did come out recently, Jeff B, in the last couple of
Yeah.
months because I
And
did report on it here on Headline Hits, where they said that they wanted Alaska back.
right. Yeah, we're going to just come take it back.
I mean, this is the craziest world that we could possibly live in at the moment, and I don't even know what to think about some of this stuff at times. Just when you think it couldn't get any crazier, it seems to get crazier.
So I can't wait to have this conversation because I'm going to, after we get done here, I'm going to call a friend of mine who works at the Eye, and I'm going to say, hey, I got 6 agents at my door from your agency. Donald told me last weekend not to comply. Are you serious?
And see what he says. I would like to hear the answer to that. That intrigues me, to say
How,
the least.
how can you get out there and make a statement like that?
It's a bold one.
Because there are people that will take him serious.
There will be a lot of people that take him serious. Yes.
I'm trying to figure out his flight. I'm trying to figure out Biden's flight back from London. 8 hours and 10 minutes to fly from London to Washington, D.C. Okay. How did this cat do it in 6?
I had other people ask similar questions yesterday. They were watching the flights and doing the math, and math did not add up. Thank you, Michael Gale, for your comment. He says we do have stuff to stop Russian missiles. I trust Michael Gale because he was part of our wonderful military here in the United States. And like I said, some people. Some of the articles that I was reading, it said that Russians' technology for their ballistic missiles was faster than anything else on Earth, and that America didn't have any kind of response for it, any kind of defense for it. Our stuff was too slow. It was just an article that I read. Doesn't mean it's gospel. Um, and I mean, come on, we are America. We're not going to sit by and let other people beat us in any kind of race, whether it comes to defense and arms, satellites, space exploration, any of that stuff. So I do believe what Michael Gale says. We, we would be in piss poor condition if we couldn't defend the United States of America.
I have to plug this joker in.
All right, brother. Well, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it, Jeff B. All right, folks. Like I said, breaking, and it is a few hours old. I realize that because it came out of Russia, but here it is. I'll share it with you guys real quick, and then we'll look at a couple other things. This is headline hits for this morning, folks. I jumped on early because Jeff reached out to me to let me know what was going on. And so I'm quite a bit early this morning for the headline hits, but here it is. This is straight out of Breitbart this morning. Putin accuses West of nuclear blackmail. Uh, he's calling up 300,000 reserves right now. If you guys have not heard that, he's calling up 300,000 reserves. Like I said, they've got probably somewhere around 100,000 troops in the Ukraine right now, give or take. I don't know the exact number, but they're going to call up 300,000 more. What I've been told is Russia runs right around 800,000 troops. So that would barely make about half of the Russian force in the Ukraine. The announcement was made as part of a rare public address given by the Russian president to the citizens of his country, during which he also accused Western powers of ultimately aiming to destroy Russia. He also put out, I believe it was yesterday, that Russia is going to be under martial law. And I thought that that was pretty interesting. While disinformation in relation to the ongoing conflict is widespread, there now appears to be consensus, at least, that the invasion is not going as well for Russia forces as the Kremlin might have initially hoped. Now, there's speculation on that, of course. A lot of experts out there, which I am not a military expert, that say Russia thought that they were going to just come in and it was going to be a nice little easy field trip to come in and take the Ukraine back over. And so some speculation is Ukraine is fighting hard and giving them a hard time, and that's why they're bringing in 300,000 more troops. And then you've got the other side of the coin, where Russia's a good guy. Russia's coming in, they're cleaning up, which has been proven. It has been proven that there are factories there in the Ukraine, and that Russia has come in and started cleaning that up. So that's both sides of the coin. We also know that on one side of the coin, we feel like our government has been shipping billions and billions and billions of dollars to the Ukraine to line people's pockets and to get to have people get even more wealthier than they already are. So that's the other side of the coin as well. In the speech given on Wednesday morning, Vladimir Putin repeated Russian claims that the invasion of the Ukraine was purely defensive in nature and specifically aimed at protecting Russia's Kremlin, um, as well as the Debase religious, which has a sizable population in Russia. So, one other thing that I wanted to say about what's going on in Russia right now is they have a very large navy as well. They've been doing a lot of exercises over the summer. Russia and China seem to be getting along well. Russia and China were also doing drills in South America. I mean, there's so many different things and pieces to this puzzle right now that we're seeing. I mean, the things that China is doing with Taiwan right now, Chinese troops north of the United States border in Canada. A lot of posturing, a lot of big talk. I just don't think that Putin is the type of person that talks big without backing something up. Uh, Putin is not somebody that I would, I guess, call bluff on. Just doesn't seem like a guy that I would call bluff and say, I think you're full of it. Let's see what you're actually going to do. Uh, Not the guy to do that with. So I'm putting this out there to let you guys know it's in the news. You're going to start hearing about it. Fox News will start reporting on it. I'm sure lamestream media will twist it and turn it to whatever narrative that they want it to be. Could this be the big scare event that we've talked about multiple times? Um, but Vladimir Putin, I don't think, would be afraid to use any kind of nuclear weaponry, especially on the UN and or on NATO and the United Nations. So that's something else that I'm paying attention to is NATO. I think things are going to really start heating up with NATO. I believe NATO is dumb enough to push back. What is the idiot in the White House, which he's not in the White House. What about the resident in charge? What kind of stupidity is going to come out of his mouth today? I'm sure he's going to come out and say something. I will be paying attention to that because he has no clue what he's doing. I wanted to share this too while we're on the headline hits today, folks. We've been talking about the electric cars. I'm going to shift gears here real quick and I'll come back to Russia for some of you that are just joining us. But the electric cars. Now, don't forget that the World Economic Forum, Germany, the UK, Prince Charles, Biden, California, New York, so many different players in the whole Green New Deal. The left, they're pushing this Green New Deal. We need to have a zero carbon footprint. Um, this is insanity, and they're pushing everybody to go to electric vehicles, and they're wanting to do away with combustible engines, with any kind of fossil fuels, but yet everything that I'm seeing in the news points to nothing but massive problems in the near future. Now we talked about California and the rolling blackouts. They're having problems even having enough power for the state of California. And so when it comes to your electric vehicles, they're not wanting you to charge them. I talked about how manufacturers out there are telling people if you are going to depend on electric cars for your future, we have battery problems. There's not going to be enough batteries or material to produce the batteries for these cars. So, what does California do? Well, they go out and they ban seabed mining despite the need for materials for the electric vehicles. What in the heck is going on, folks? Do you guys feel or see what's going on? They're going to try to force people to go all electric, and then you're not even going to be able to have those items. You're not going to be able to produce those items. The state of California banned scabbed mining on Monday, despite the fact that it improves provides rare earth materials that are necessary for green technologies like electric vehicles. The state will force all drivers to produce starting in 2035. 2035. They're wanting to do away with all combustible engines, all fossil fuels by 2035, but yet they're going to ban companies mining for those materials that are needed for all of this green new technology. Does that even make sense for you guys? No, it does not. All right, let's hit the next headline right here. I talked about this yesterday, day before. I want to bring it up again. Biden signs death warrant for US dollar. Now, when you read on this, I reported on it yesterday. It looks like it's pretty much the same article, but it's in the news cycle yet again today. It's Executive Order 14067 that Joe Biden signed, which allows legal government surveillance of all U.S. citizens, total control over your bank accounts and purchases, and the ability to silence all dissenting voices for good. This is supposed to go in effect December of this year, folks. I believe that's the date on this executive order. December of this year, this executive order is supposed to go into effect, which allows them to control us even more. So, are we hoping that something big here happens? Absolutely, freaking lootly. We need something to happen. We need to get this country back because it is going so far to the left and so far out of control. Um, it's very concerning for me, and I put my faith in God 100%. But this is very concerning to see that this clown sitting behind the desk continues to sign executive order after executive order after executive order, which is unconstitutional. Just so you guys know, even Donald Trump, when he signed executive orders, still unconstitutional. There's only certain parameters that the president of the United States can sign executive orders. This stuff has to go through Congress. This stuff has to go through legislation. It's not something that you can just grab your pen and grab your piece of paper and make a law. Do you guys not realize that? Remember when Obama said the most powerful thing that he had was his cell phone and his pen? That's what he meant by that. That he was going to do these executive orders. So here's something else that popped up in the news cycle today. Um, everything Mitch, the Turtle Man McConnell did was designed to screw Donald Trump. Why am I bringing this up? I'm bringing this up for all of you voters there in the state of Kentucky. We need to recall this guy immediately. He needs to be gone. We do not want him to be Speaker of the House. He is a lame duck. He is a traitor to his party and to his country. And you know that he rode Trump's coattails when he needed him most in 2020 to get reelected back to the House. And here he is. Everything that he has done has been nothing but designed to screw Donald Trump. Why we lost the White House and how we'll win it back. Um, we need the Senate majority and we need leader Mitch McConnell subverted from President Donald Trump's. Drain the swamp. Pursuit by delaying appointments atop of officials and federal government agencies and departments. So everything that Mitch McConnell did, he was always a distraction, always basically drug his foot on things. Um, you know, Donald Trump needed things done. Mitch McConnell wasn't willing to do them. When we talk about Donald Trump having to fight his own party, this is what we're talking about. He had to fight Mitch McConnell, the turtle man. I call him the turtle man because he drug his foot. He was slow to everything. This guy needs to be removed. Um, Kevin McCarthy's wanting to be Speaker of the House. I'm not a big fan of Kevin McCarthy either. I feel like he's another rhino. We know that he's tied to certain groups that fund his campaign, fund his effort. Folks, this is something. Um, this is something that is really weighing on me right now. It seems like the more time that goes by, the more of these people show us who they truly are. And I'm grateful for all the unveiling, but we need to have actions behind our words. We need some of this stuff to be cleaned up. The swamp needs to be drained. Now, here's something that I found very disgusting. This is the last headline for today, and then I'm going to jump back over to Russia real quick. Ontario school defends male teacher wearing gigantic prosthetic breast to school. You can't make this stuff up. And Ontario, Canada's high school is defending one of its male shop teachers' decision to teach young students while wearing gigantic prosthetic breast. What is that even about? Why does that need to be? Why does that need to be shown to our young children and our young minds in these high schools? What are these people thinking? How sick are they? The male teacher who recently began identifying as a female, calling himself Kayla, decided to wear an unusually large bust uh, with pronounced nipples in the class and an apparent attempt to exercise his female identity. Look at that. That's a pretty disgusting photo. Very, very disgusting. And he's doing this in a shop class. Now, wouldn't those things get in the way? If you look at this video right here, which we'll take a look at it here in just a second. As soon as my internet catches up. There we go. Internet has to catch up. Here's the TikTok video or whatever video, Twitter video. Let's take a look at it real quick. If it'll play. Doesn't look like it's going to play. There we go. All right. There's no sound to it, folks. It's just a video. Sound is up. So there he is in the shop class. I mean, those gigantic things are basically down around his belly. Let's look at that one more time. What a beautiful example that a teacher should be setting for their students in the classroom. Like I said, there's no sound to it. It's just video only. Um, you want to talk about disgusting, confusing, distracting. Um, how does that have anything to do with educating our children? Now, if this man or whatever it is wants to dress like that at home and run around his backyard or his living room, heck, I don't even care if he runs around his front yard looking like that in front of all of his neighbors. I guess he has a right to do that, and I'm okay with that. But why are you doing this in front of my children? If you guys want to know how sick our school system is, here you have it. This is Canada, Ontario, Canada. This is what our children are being exposed to day in and day out. And it's very, very concerning to me that parents are not doing more about this. Not everybody, because I've seen some comments, well, if people still have their kids in the public school, they're horrible parents. Well, let me ask you this question for a moment. Just for one moment, put yourself in the shoes of the parents. And I'm not condoning parents keeping their kids in schools where children are being groomed, but I want to look at it from all angles. If you live in a state like California, um, let's just say that your mortgage payment, your rent payment, your mortgage payment, inflation, Biden inflation is so expensive. The cost of groceries and the cost of fuel to put in your car to go to work is so expensive that both parents have to work. How are they going to homeschool their children? It's almost dang near impossible because of the Biden inflation. And of course, you could argue the point. Well, one parent should just stay home and homeschool the kids. It's not that easy, folks. Yeah, if you're a retiree and you don't have kids at home, I'm sure you could look at it that way. I'm sure you could say, "Oh, if I was them, I'd already yank my kids out of school." It's not that easy. I'm a sole parent. I'm not a single parent. I'm a sole parent. For me to yank my kid out of school and try to homeschool him while I'm working all day, how's that going to look? How's that going to be effective? So what I'm saying is parents need to band together and unify and go to these school board meetings, get rid of their school board, replace them with conservative Christian school board members. They need to go to their state and replace people in the state level to take our schools back. The answer is not 100% take all the kids out of school and homeschool them, which I know a lot of us parents would love to do, but we can't. It's physically impossible, it's financially impossible. So the next best step is not only take our country back, but take our schools back. All right, here's back to the beginning of the show. If you guys missed it, what's going on in Russia? The breaking news: Vladimir Putin. We're going to wrap this up here in just a minute. Vladimir Putin says in a speech, basically, he's willing to use nuclear weaponry, on the West if they continue to push. So he's called up 300,000 uh, national national guardsmen. Sounds like they may be reenacting in Russia the equivalent of the draft. I heard that yesterday, day before, that they're calling up basically any young male within fighting age to join the military. So it sounds like Russia is starting to they're starting to strengthen their military. Again, Russia right around 800,000 in their military right now, over 100,000 in the Ukraine at the moment. They're calling up another 300,000. Russia has some of the fastest ballistic supersonic missiles on the planet, if not the fastest, and they're not fooling around. So again, there's always speculation. There's always two sides of the story. There's always people that think, the white hats are 100% in control, and Russia is just going in there and cleaning up a bunch of stuff. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. I'm not there. I can't prove it. I can't disprove it. But it's very concerning that a world leader is talking nuclear, especially in this day and age. This sounds like 1980 all over again. The 80s where we had nuclear threats. The 50s where we had nuclear threats. And then, of course, we've got the clown, the resident in charge, uh, that is doing nothing. He can't do anything. His policies are weak. He's weak. His administration is weak, and these world leaders absolutely know it. They're honed in on it. They know that he's not the real president. So all I'm going to ask is the military. Any military out there listening to the sound of LWN's voice today, I really hope that our active military, I'm not talking about our retired military, I'm talking about the active military right now. I really hope that there is a plan. I really hope that you guys are ready to go. I mean, we really need to remove the problem. And the problem, I feel, is the current administration. That needs to be removed. The rightful administration needs to be put back behind the resolute desk, and we need to get back to business because this monkey, you know what, screwing around, I've had enough of it, and I know you guys have had enough of it as well. I know it's in God's hands. I know it's God's timing. I know a lot of this stuff has to play out, but there are innocent people, in my opinion, getting hurt, and a lot of innocent people losing their minds because this stuff is happening, and it's a shame. It's a shame that we're going down some of these roads to wake people up. I just really wish a lot of people would just wake the heck up, realize what's truly going on, and quit putting their head in the sand and thinking, 2020 was the most fairest and you know what of all time. And it's time to really see what things truly are and what's in front of us. So, guys, um, that's all I have for today for headline hits. Like I said, I come on early because Jeff called me, wanted to talk to me about Putin. If you guys are late to the video, you can go back and go to the beginning. Jeff B was on with me for a short time there, 10, 15, 20 minutes. He talked about what he thought Russia was doing and some of the other stuff. So if you guys didn't catch that here at the end, you can catch it at the beginning. Share this video out. That's the best thing that you can do. Let's try to wake people up. I've said this a million times. Share, share, share. If you can share it on YouTube, if you can share it on Facebook, if you can share it on True Social, if you can share it over there on Rumble and everywhere that these videos are, please share this stuff out so we can start waking more people up because I really feel like it is time for us to do that. All right, that's all I have for today. God bless each and every one of you. I'll be back later this evening, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the big show. And I've got some special guests coming up, some more surprises for you guys. I think you're going to absolutely love the direction that we're going to start heading with intelligent information and some great Patriot guests. So have a blessed day, folks, and stay safe.